Devotees, it's time for Leowolf TV story time. A Promise is a Promise. Story by Robert Munsk and Michael Cusack. Art by Vladiana Grigorka. I hope I'm saying that right. Read by / narrated by Joshua Leowolf Dauzat. On the very first nice day of spring, Alishua said, "I'm going to go fishing. I'm going to go fishing in the ocean. I'm going to go fishing in the cracks in the ice." Said her mother. "Don't go fishing on the sea ice. Under the sea ice live the Caterpillar. They grab children who aren't with their parents. Don't go fishing in the ocean. Go fishing in the lake." "Right," said Alishua. "I promised to go fishing in the lake and not in the ocean, and a promise is a promise." So Alishua set out like she was going to go to the lake near her house. But when she got to the end of her street, she didn't go to the lake. She walked down the long, snowy path that led to the ocean. At the edge of the ocean were large cracks where the tide broke and jumbled the ice. Alishua looked very carefully and did not see the Caterpillar. She said, "On TV I have seen Santa Claus, fairy godmothers, the Tooth Fairy, but never any Caterpillar. I think my mother is wrong." But just in case her mother was right, Alishua stood beside the sea ice and yelled, "Caterpillar have dirty noses!" Nothing happened. Alishua yelled, "Caterpillar smell like a dead whale in the summer." Nothing happened. Alishua walked right out onto the sea ice and yelled as loud as she could, Caterpillar, can't catch me." Nothing happened. The only thing Alishua heard was the sound of the snow blowing over the ice. So Alishua got out her line and her hook. She walked over to the large crack in the ice and started to fish. Right away, a fish grabbed the hook and Alishua pulled it up. She caught 6 fish in a row. Alishua yelled, "I am the best fisherman in the world!" And from behind her something said, with a voice that sounded like the snow blowing over the ice,
"The best you may be, but the smartest you are not."
Alishua turned around. There between her and the shore were the Caterpillar. They looked at her and said,
"Have you seen the child who said Caterpillar have dirty noses?"
"Oh no, Caterpillar. I have seen no such child. And besides, your noses are very pretty."
"Have you seen the child who said we smell like a dead whale in the summertime?"
Oh no, Caterpillar. I have seen no such child. And besides, you smell very nice, just like flowers in the summer."
"Have you seen the child who yelled, Caterpillar, can't catch me?"
"Oh no, Caterpillar. I have seen no such child. And besides, my mother says that you can catch whatever you want to."
"Right,"
said the Caterpillar.
"We catch whatever we want to. And what we want to catch right now is you."
One grabbed Alishua by her feet and dragged her down under the sea ice to where the Caterpillar would live. The seawater stung Alishua's face like fire. Alishua held her breath and the Caterpillar gathered around her and sang with voices that sound like the snow blowing over the ice.
Human child, ours to have and ours to hold. Forget your mother, forget your brother, ours to hold under the ice."
Alishua let out her breath and yelled, my brothers and sisters, I'll bring all of them to the sea ice." For a moment, nothing happened. And then the Caterpillar threw Alishua up out of the sea, onto the cold wind of the ice and said,
A promise is a promise. Bring your brothers and your sisters to the sea ice, and we will let you go.
Alishua began to run up the long snow-covered path that led up to her home. As she ran, her clothes started to freeze. She ran more and more slowly until she fell into the ground, and that is where Alishua's father found her, almost at the back door, frozen to the snow. Alishua's father gave a great yell, picked up Alishua and carried her inside. He tore off Alishua's icy clothes and put her into bed. Then the father and the mother got under the covers and hugged Alishua till she got warm. After an hour, Alishua asked for some hot tea. She drank 10 cups of hot tea with lots of sugar and said, I went to the cracks in the ice. Said her family. Not too smart. I called the Calipilluit nasty names. Said her family. Dumber still. I promised to take my brothers and my sisters to the cracks in the sea ice. I promised to take them all to the Calipilluit. Said her family. A promise is a promise. Then her mother and father made some tea, and they sat and drank it, and didn't say anything for a long time. From far down the snow-covered path that led to the sea, the Calipilluit began calling.
A promise is a promise. A promise is a promise. A promise is a promise.
The mother looked at her children and said, I have an idea. Do exactly as I say. When I start dancing, all of you follow Alishua to the cracks in the sea ice. And the children all whispered to each other, why will our mother dance? This is not a happy time. Alishua's mother went out the back door and yelled, Calipilluit, Calipilluit, come and talk with me. And they did come, right out of the cracks in the sea ice. Up the long snow-covered path to the sea they came, and stood by the back door. It was the most strange thing, for never before had the Calipilluit left the ocean. The mother and father cried and yelled and asked for their children back, but the Calipilluit said,
A promise is a promise.
The mother and father begged and pleaded and asked for their children back, but the Calipilluit said,
A promise is a promise.
Finally, Alishua's mother said, Calipilluit, you have hearts of ice, but a promise is a promise. Come and join us while we say goodbye to our children. Everyone went inside. First the mother gave her children some bread. She said to the Calipilluit, This is not for you. But the Calipilluit said,
We want some too.
The mother gave the Calipilluit some bread, and they liked it a lot. Then the mother gave each of her children a piece of candy. She said, Calipilluit, this is not for you. But the Calipilluit simply said,
We want some too.
The mother gave the Calipilluit some candy, and they liked it a lot. Then the father started to dance. He said to the Calipilluit, This is not for you. The Calipilluit said,
We have never danced. We want to dance.
And they all started to dance. First they danced slowly, and then they danced fast. And then they started to jump and yell and scream and dance a wild dance. The Calipilluit liked the dancing so much that they forgot all about the children. Finally, her mother started to dance, and when the children saw their mother dancing, they crawled out the back door and ran down the long snowy path that led to the sea. They came to the cracks in the ice, and Alishua whispered, Calipilluit, Calipilluit, here we are. Nothing happened. Then all the children said, Calipilluit, Calipilluit, here we are. Nothing happened. Then all the children yelled, as loud as they could, Calipilluit, Calipilluit, here we are. Nothing happened, and they all went back to the land and sat on a rock by the beach. 2 minutes later, the Calipilluit ran screaming down the path and jumped into their cracks in the ice. Alishua stood up on a rock and said, A promise is what you were given, and a promise is what you got. I brought my brothers and sisters to the sea ice, but you were not here. A promise is a promise. The Caterpillar yelled and screamed and pounded the ice till it broke. They begged and pleaded for it to have the children, but Alishua said, "A promise is a promise." Then the Caterpillar jumped down to the bottom of the sea and took the cracks with them, and the whole ocean of ice became perfectly smooth. Then the mother and father came walking down the long snowy path to the ocean. They hugged and kissed each one of the children, even Alishua. The father looked at the flat ocean and said, "We will go fishing here, for Kalapilluit have promised never to catch children with their parents, and a promise is a promise." Then they all did go fishing, quite happily, except for Alishua. She had been too close to the Kalapilluit and could still hear them singing, with voices that sounded like blowing snow.
Human child, ours to have, ours to hold. Forget your mother, forget your brother, ours to hold.